If you're the person who loses their keys 3 times a day but can remember a random fact about the Roman Empire from a documentary you watched 6 years ago, if you have ever had a full-blown argument with yourself in the shower, or if you are currently watching this at 2 a.m. because your brain simply refuses to turn off, then I have some very good news for you. You aren't disorganized, you aren't weird, and you are certainly not crazy. You might just be highly intelligent. We tend to think a high IQ looks like a human calculator, cold, precise, and orderly. But the truth? Real genius is a lot messier. It is a lot louder, and it is a lot more anxious. Today, we are going to explore the 9 secret habits that prove your quirks are actually superpowers. Habit number 1, you talk to yourself. Let's be honest, you do this. You are in the kitchen making coffee and you're muttering. Okay, so if I move this here, then that happens. But wait, what about the email? If someone walked in, they might think you were losing your mind, but actually, you are running a board meeting.
And you are the CEO, the board, and the intern all at once. Psychologists have found that talking to yourself is a sign of high cognitive efficiency. Your brain is processing so much information so quickly that it needs to externalize the data to keep track of it. It's like using your voice as a sticky note. You aren't crazy. You are just giving your thoughts a physical form so you can organize them. You are literally conducting the orchestra of your own mind. Habit number 2, you are a night owl. There is a societal shame attached to sleeping in. The world loves the early bird. We are told that successful people wake up at 5 a.m., drink green juice, and run 10 miles before the sun comes up. But if you are the person who feels like your brain only truly wakes up when the sun goes down, there is an evolutionary reason for that. Studies suggest that higher intelligence is linked to evolutionary novelty. Basically, our ancestors slept when it got dark, but the intelligent ones, the ones who wanted to experiment, to invent, to think outside the survival box, they stayed up.
The night is quiet. The demands of the world fade away. There are no emails, there are no phone calls. For a high IQ brain that is constantly overstimulated by the noise of the day, the night is a sanctuary. It is the only time you have enough bandwidth to actually think. So, the next time someone calls you lazy for sleeping until noon on a Saturday, just tell them you are operating on genius time. Habit number 3, the organized chaos. Look at your desk right now, or your bedroom. Is it a minimalist sanctuary, or does it look like a small tornado touchdown recently? If it's a mess, don't apologize. Einstein famously said, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, of what then is an empty desk a sign? High IQ individuals often deprioritize tidying because their brains are focused on concepts, not objects. You aren't messy because you are lazy. You are messy because you are busy.
Your brain is prioritizing the abstract problem you are solving over the physical placement of your coffee mug. Furthermore, researchers at the University of Minnesota found that a messy environment actually stimulates creativity. It encourages breaking the rules. Your chaos is just your brain's way of keeping the options open. Habit number 4, you have a rabbit hole syndrome. You know this feeling. You sit down to check your email, you see a term you don't recognize, you Google it, that leads to a Wikipedia page, which leads to a YouTube video, which leads to a scientific paper. 3 hours later, you haven't checked your email, but you are now an expert on the mating habits of the 17th century dodo bird. This is insatiable curiosity. High IQ isn't just about knowing things, it is about the desperate, itching need to find out. You have a need for cognition. You crave mental stimulation the way other people crave sugar. To the outside world, this looks like you were easily distracted, but you aren't distracted. You are investigating.
You're mapping the universe one random fact at a time. Habit number 5, you're fluent in sarcasm. If your sense of humor is dry, dark, and slightly biting, that is a very good sign. Sarcasm is surprisingly high-level mental gymnastics. To understand or create sarcasm, your brain has to process 2 realities at once. the literal meaning of the words, the intended meaning, which is the opposite, and you have to bridge the gap with tone and context all in a split second. It requires linguistic agility. It requires theory of mind, the ability to understand that someone else understands you were joking. If you're the person making the quick, witty comeback that goes over half the room's head, that isn't just a personality quirk. That is your processor speed showing off. Habit number 6, you enjoy your own company. This is the loner myth. We often think smart people are antisocial. They aren't antisocial, they are just selectively social. There's a theory called the Savannah theory of happiness. It suggests that for most people, socializing makes them happier. But for people with very high IQs, the correlation flips. More socialization actually makes them less happy.
Why? Because you have a rich inner world. You are never truly alone because you are hanging out with your ideas. You are debating with yourself. You are building worlds in your head. Socializing, especially small talk, pulls you away from that fascinating inner landscape. It feels like an interruption. You don't hate people. You just prefer the conversation happening inside your own head. Habit number 7, the curse of overthinking. Now let's get to the painful one. Anxiety. If you replay conversations from 3 years ago, if you lie awake at night worrying about a scenario that has a 0.01% chance of happening, you are suffering from the downside of a high-powered engine. A high IQ brain is a simulation machine. It is designed to predict the future. It analyzes patterns, calculates risks, and simulates outcomes. This is great for solving complex problems. It is terrible for trying to fall asleep on a Tuesday.
Your brain is so good at imagining what if that it imagines every what if, including the bad ones. You aren't a worrier. You are a hyperactive prediction engine that doesn't have an off switch. Habit number 8, adaptability. Intelligence is not just knowing a lot of facts. A hard drive can do that. True intelligence is adaptability. It is the ability to change your mind when new data arrives. It is the ability to pivot when the plan fails. If you are the person who can walk into a chaotic situation, a travel disaster, a work crisis, and figure out a solution while everyone else is panicking, that is high fluid intelligence. You don't cling to how it's supposed to be. You look at how it is, and you work with it. You are mental water. You flow around the obstacle. Habit number 9, you admit when you don't know. This is the ultimate paradox. The smartest people in the room are usually the ones asking the most questions. There's a phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Essentially, dumb people think they know everything. Smart people know how little they actually know. If you constantly feel like you don't know enough, if you are quick to say, "I'm not sure, let me look that up," if you are willing to change your opinion when someone presents a better argument, that is not a lack of confidence. That is intellectual humility. It is the understanding that the universe is infinite and your brain is finite. The more you learn, the more you realize how much is left to learn. The conclusion. So, the talking to yourself, the messy desk, the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the weird humor. You have spent a lot of your life thinking these were flaws. You have tried to fix them. You have tried to be more organized, more morning-oriented, more normal. But what if you realized that these aren't bugs in the system? They are the system. They are the price of admission for a mind that sees the world in high definition. You are a high-performance machine living in a world designed for economy sedans. Of course you feel a little out of place. Of course you overheat sometimes. But that mind of yours, it is a gift. It is capable of depth. It is capable of seeing beauty that others walk right past. So talk to yourself. Leave the desk messy. Read about the dodo bird. Embrace the quirks. Because the world has enough normal people. We need more of you. Thank you for being here. Subscribe for more.